This video is about the 3 things that prevent you from making changes in your life, but it's really, I'm applying it to raw food, I'm applying it to diet, because diet is like the hardest thing to change. Almost. Possibly it is the hardest thing to change. I'm not sure if there's anything else harder than changing your diet. But if you learn the process of changing your diet, then you can apply that process to any change you want to make in your life. And if everything else is easier than changing your diet, then you can do anything. You can learn that process and apply it to everything. And you have to look at everything as a specific change in your life. So you can't think, well, if I change my diet, everything else is going to change. If I change my personality, everything else is going to change. If I change my body, everything else is going to change. Everything has to be worked on specifically to make these changes, you know. So if you want to become good at running, you become good at running, but that doesn't make you good at cycling, or it doesn't make you good at boxing or anything else. You have to train specifically for all these different things. They might give you some advantage, but you have to train specifically. But the process is pretty much the same. And the 3 main things that stop people from making changes is, firstly, your internal habits, your programming. Secondly, the people around you, the pressures of the people around you. And thirdly, it's your environment, what you're surrounded by. So there's a kind of crossover with all of those. But when we talk about internally, our own habitual nature, we are creatures of habit. We set habits, we stick to habits. We become programmed and trained at a young age into certain habits, into certain lifestyles and certain practices. And changing that is very hard, and you shouldn't. That is the same for everyone, is what I'm trying to say. It's not easy for anyone to make changes. The good thing is that once you've changed those habits, good habits are hard to change as well. So once you've changed the good, positive habits that improve your life, then they'll just continue to function and work for you. But changing from bad habits is very hard, and it's because you just need to be aware of it, be conscious of it, be aware that it's going to be a battle against yourself. Your mind is going to try and stop you from making changes. Your emotions will come along and come out and try and stop you from making changes. It's a really weird experience to make these changes to eventually succeed, but your mind is continually trying to give you reasons why not to change, and you have to continually say, no, that's just a lie, right? So you're always trying to, there's this inner conflict there, but if you can see through that and get through that, then you can change, then you can make changes. And often what a lot of people need is a mentor and someone to really push them to change. The second thing that people struggle with in making changes is everyone around them. So everyone around them's got their own habits and programs and stuff, and they have some related to you, so they see you as this kind of person. They see you as a certain type of individual, and they can count on you for certain things and count on you for this and that, and they don't want you to change, because that's going to inspire a domino effect of maybe they're going to change, maybe things in their life are going to change. So that's another pressure, is the external pressure. There's one internal pressure, which is just your own habits. The 2 external pressures are the people around you, who all don't want you to change, and a lot of them don't want you to change. And the only way you can do that is you just have to stick to what you're doing. You just have to say to them, I'm making changes, and that's the way it is, and I'm sticking to what I'm doing, and not forcing them to come along with you, or not forcing them to change, but just doing it. And it will change things, it will change your relationships with people, but that's just the nature of you improving things for yourself. The third thing is the environment around you. What are you surrounding yourself with? What are you listening to? What are you reading? In terms of your work in life, your environment where you live. What are you surrounded by? If you're in a situation where it's really hard for you to make the change just because of the physical location that you're in, and I don't think there's any restrictions to going raw really wherever you live, but people might have situations where they work there's no fruit for sale. Where they are, there's only processed food. The supermarket's too far away to get to at lunchtime, whatever it is. So there's these external pressures that these are the legitimate things that make it harder for people. There might be pressures of financial pressures, but these are all things of lifestyle, of external things that you also have the power to change. And to me, for a lot of people that are maybe worried about financial issues and things, this is a good opportunity for you to really change your life and think, well, how can I get myself in a position where I am making enough money so I can cover living a healthy lifestyle? How can I put myself in a position where I've got the time to prepare the food I need to prepare? How can I get into maybe I need to change job, maybe I need to find a job that's more in line with what I'm doing so I've got a better environment, maybe I need to change where I'm living, maybe I need to live with some people that are vegan, or live with people who eat a fruit-based diet, or I just need to get rid of all the food that's currently in my house that I'm going back to. Maybe I need to change where I'm living so I'm not... I heard a guy talking about how donuts were a big problem for him, and every time he drove to work he was going past a place that sold donuts, and he would go in and get donuts all the time and he just couldn't control himself, so he decided to move house so that he wasn't driving past the donut place every day. Now that sounds like a kind of crazy, but that's an extreme version of it. But these kind of things really do help. If you're not going past the donut shop, you're not going to be able to eat donuts. If you're not, if you're not going past the fast food places, you're not going to be tempted to go in. So changing our environment, changing what's around us, our environment can make it harder for us. So these are the three things we have to change. We have to make a conscious decision to change ourselves. We have to change how we are with the people around us, and we have to maybe change our environment. And often changing your environment is one of the quickest way to make changes to yourself, because you're kind of forced to if you go into a different environment. If you're surrounded by different people, it just changes the way that you are. So these are the three things we need to do to make changes. And with a raw food diet, going to an event is the instant thing that solves those things. You're all of a sudden surrounded by people that support you. You're all of a sudden surrounded by the perfect environment to stick to a raw diet. And you just start to take in the influences, the information, the experience of everyone else, and you start to make changes. So that's the three things to change. If you want to hear more from me, then you can join my email list. There's information in the description below. I've got some books on Amazon and some other ways to support this channel, and that's in the description box once again down below. I'd love to hear from you, and let me know what have been your struggles in changing lifestyle. What were the things that worked for you? And let me know in the comments below. Okay, thank you for watching.